Murkaster by Frank Cottrell Boyce. You won't find Murkaster on a map. Maps show rivers, mountains and cities. They don't bother with clouds because clouds come and go. Except in Murkaster. The clouds came to Murkaster, but they did not go away again. They sat there on the roofs and in the squares and streets and gardens until it was wiped off the map. The world forgot Murkaster, and Murkaster forgot the world. If you're a Murkaster girl, like Sunny Hotspur for instance, you'd wear your hair in a Murkaster fashion, high and curly like your own personal cloud. You'd shop or chat using Murkaster's special app, which was called Gloom. You would not go out, not without a mask and snorkel, because inside a cloud it's wet, dull and endless. Once Sunny asked her mum, "My name, Sunny, what does it even mean?" "It's just one of those words that make you feel nice but don't actually mean anything." There are a lot of words like that in the Murkaster dialect. For instance, view. There was a painting on the dining room wall in Hotspur House called Foggy Day. It showed a foggy day. There was another called Cumulostratus, which showed thick grey clouds with streaks of gold and yellow shining through the gaps. What were those streaks of yellow? "It's the painter ran out of grey and had to use that different colour," said Mum. Unconvinced, Sunny sat at her window, scanning the passing murk for a glimpse of yellow. She never saw the streak of yellow, but she did see an eye, a deep, dark eye set in a wrinkle of murk, staring at her. The murk, reasoned Sunny, has an eye, so it must have a head, and if it has a head it must have a bottom, which means the murk must have an end. Grabbing her mask and snorkel, she dashed outside. The moment she opened the door, she could hear something breathing. "The murk has a voice," she said to herself, and wondered if she could talk to it. At that moment, something sniffed at her. Then, as if she was a flower, picked her up and hoisted her into the air. You would have known right away that it was an elephant and that it was lifting her high in its trunk. High into the damp air she rose until she was, yes, above the murk. The sky was blue, the distance was green, and sometimes blossom white. Above her head, streaks of yellow. The elephant waved her round in the air. What was it doing? What did it want? "You're lost!" yelled Sunny. "You're lost in the murk like us. You want me to find a way out." She could guide the elephant out of here and leave the murk forever. But what about everyone else? Could she leave them all behind? While she thought, the elephant blew impatiently, and where it breathed, the murk grew thinner and light showed through. And when it breathed, it sounded like a trumpet. And another trumpet answered, and another and another. There must be a dozen elephants lost in the murk. Sunny swung the trunk this way and that, steering her elephant towards the nearest elephant, then leading the two to the next elephant, and the next, until she had brought a dozen elephants together in the centre of the murk. "Now sing," she cried. "Sing me a city." And a dozen elephants trumpeted their happiness at finding each other, and their trumpeting tore the murk apart like tissue paper and unwrapped a city, with domes and towers and bridges and minarets and waterways. The city Sunny had lived in, but never, until that moment, seen.